What is up, fight fans? I'm Jason Burgos from MixedMartialArts.com, and I have the pleasure of being joined by a neighbor from New York City's five boroughs. On July 24th at UFC Vegas 32, he will return to the octagon for the first time in 20 months when he faces Andre Ewell. And that man I speak of he's Queens, New York's greatest import to the UFC. And that is Julio Arce. Senor Arce, thanks so much for the time. So close to the fight. We're almost there. We're like a week away.
I know, man. I know. I can't wait. I'm water loading now, so I got to pee like crazy.
No, I mean, there's so much to talk to, and I want to go right into like what I mentioned on the 20 months and stuff like that. You've always gotten to be an active fighter throughout your career, a lot of times fighting at least twice a year, but this hiatus has been by far the longest break you've had from a cage fight. I know you had a fight in February that was supposed to happen. That didn't happen. Things didn't work out. It's been tough for talent throughout the pandemic, but if you're a UFC guy like yourself, everybody's kind of gotten to be busier than most other companies.
Yeah.
First, were there fights that maybe didn't get reported and rumored and stuff like that were close throughout this long period, especially in 2020? Or was there as New Yorkers, we knew how bad it was for us in the beginning. Was there maybe some reason you're like, no, I don't want to fight quite yet. I'm not wanting to fight in this pandemic stuff. What kept you out so long?
So the first one is after my fight in Madison Square Garden, I got double elbow surgery.
Oh, wow.
So I had to get, I don't know if you can see this is one of the scars.
Wow.
I had to get them both replaced because my arms, I was losing extension on my arms. The thing of it is, I was like a freaking dinosaur pretty much. Yeah, which is wild. So I had to get that fixed because then it was I was trying to compensate and I was putting myself more in danger as I'm fighting. So I don't want that. I'm like let me get this fixed. And then the pandemic hit, which in a way was kind of good for me because I got to kind of heal up. And then I started training again. And then what happens once I started training, they're like, all right, you're gonna fight in February. What happens February? Luckily, unfortunately, I tested positive, COVID, but luckily I didn't get a serious case. I didn't get any symptoms or anything.
Okay.
But they were just like, you know what? Since you tested positive, we can't have you fight. We don't want to endanger. I'm like, all right. So they canceled the fight right away. So then, apparently a lot of the fight cards were booked solid until October.
Okay.
Which they they were. UFC's going. They're putting on shows. So, that opening in July, and I was like, yeah, let's do this. So my management got in contact with, them, and Andre Ewell was the man that was ready to fight. So I'm like, yo, let's freaking do it.
So talk to me about the elbow thing. So explain to me what you mean by you couldn't you were losing extension, and also how what happened that started happening to your elbows. That you needed such it seems like it was kind of a serious surgery.
So what was happening is there was extra bone broken bone fragments and cartilage building up and where the arm extends. So then my arm, instead of going from full extension, it was getting worse. It was literally like this. So when I punched, instead of extending my arm, I was stuck here like L shape. So that for something I like to strike.
Yeah.
And it's just I need my range.
Yeah.
And so I was losing a lot of that, and I was like, all right, I got to get taken care of. So I did that, and of course, in the pandemic hit, and then couldn't train for a bit, but it gave me a chance to heal and work on other things, and then here we are today.
Talk to me about then, how, was that the crux of what kept you busy in all this time? We talked in I think it was March of last year, April of last year. We talked a lot about your work with the Tiger Showman affiliate you have and stuff like that, and how you were busy with that, doing videos from home for students and stuff like that. So what kept you busy? What kept you motivated in all this time away? Was it the recovery? Was it the teaching? What did you see some movies or TV show? Did you play some video games? I know you're a big video game guy. Did you play some video games that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise if you were busy fighting?
I tell you what, during that whole thing, of course I was teaching classes through Zoom. So I kept me motivated because if my students were showing up to train, I'm like, I gotta keep myself busy. So even on when I couldn't do much because of my elbows, I was like, all right, let's heal up. Once I was able to get like more better range, I was able to like I do a little shadow boxing and stay busy here and there. Um, and then when I was finally able to like start fully like training, I was like, all right, yo, we're going to overdrive. Like mentally, I didn't let it take me away from what I still want to do, because I'm like, damn, it's like first I get surgery, now this pandemic hit,
Yeah,
shit, everything
crazy.
down. But I was like, fuck it, man. It's like let's heal up and let's get back to it. So I was finding different ways to just kind of stay in as close shape as possible. But it's hard because I was limited to like what I can do.
Yeah.
Then once I was like, yo, you can start now grappling, kickboxing. I was like, all right, let's go. We went in there, and when they offered me the fight on February, I was like, yo, I was like already, like fully in like training mode, and then that fell through, and they gave me more time to train, more time to get better. So it was like I was kind of like one of the longest fight camps ever, which is great. That's the way I picture. I picture it like every day is like a fight camp. Whether even if I can't do things physically, I gotta do it mentally and just keep pushing myself.
How long would you say the elbow thing was affecting? Because I had questions planned regarding like some of your recent losses, which were close fights, split decisions, could have went either way. Were the elbow issues affect you even like that far back? Was it more recent? Like how long has this been a problem for you where you're not getting to really compete at the full potential level you should be able to?
I think it was after the Daniel Tamer fight.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's like the thing is like, and I'm sure like a lot of fighters can agree to this. Like sometimes we just don't want to get surgery. I think like a fighter mentality, we're just like, yo, we don't want to get surgery, be on the shelf, and it's like this whole thing. It's like, and you feel like the world's moving on without you, and you're just kind of just sitting there idling, hoping to get better faster. So it's like we prolong it, and we're like, yo, we're just toughing it out through it. But it gets to a point you're just like, you have no other choice. You're like, damn, I gotta get it done. So as much as I try to like hold it off, I was like, I can't. I can't keep going. I can't keep going in there and like, like not being able to use my full reach.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm fighting compromise.
Yeah. Is part of it because me and most of the people that will watch this are not professional athletes, so they don't know that mind frame like you explained, like not wanting to miss time. But is there part of it, and I've seen this in other sports too, where there's a feeling if I get surgery and I'm kind of changing my parts, so to speak, like the parts are not going to be the same. Is there that fear too, like post surgery, like you're not the same guy? Is that another part of the mentality of not wanting to do surgery as an athlete?
That's also true, you know, because literally when I did my elbow surgery, like in a way, it's like they took a bunch of stuff out, and then like your arms are weak. It's like I have to retrain myself to do a push up all over again. That's pretty much how it was. It was like so like it took out a lot of junk there that was jammed up. So then like I can finally like engage my tricep more, and I can kind of like do a lot more. So so it's like there was that whole process of it was a little bit of like a pain in the ass, but you know what? It's like I'm like I can't get back in there without really properly healing up. So I did what I had to do. Had the best team help me out, and just like here we are.
And just to clarify, you I'm guessing you did one, let it heal, and then did the surgery on the other, or you did both at the same time?
So I did one, and I like a week and a half later, I was like, let me just do the other one.
What? How are you doing anything with no working arms? What's going on?
I'm like, like because the first week is what I did was I did a lot of strength and conditioning to make sure that even though like my arms couldn't have full range, like it's like I'm strengthening my body, so then it's like they're telling me like it helps you recover a little bit better.
Okay.
Recover is easier. So I did that, and then so like the healing process for me and my arms were a lot better, where it's a lot easier. So like the first arm, it was like, all right, got that done. I was like, all right, you can go full range of motion, you can grab stuff, whatever. So I was like, all right, let me do the other one, just get it out of the way.
And to explain to people, what's like some specific things as a striker, because that's your game. Your game is you're a striker and a very good striker. What things were you not able to do in these last few fights, last couple fights, that you are now able to do in training? Is it just as simple things like you can a jab, certain combinations?
I can keep somebody further away. Like think about this, was like my arm was literally like it was like this.
Yeah, all you can do is hooks.
Stuck like this.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to throw a jab, I can't reach it. I can't reach the person normally.
Yeah.
Like I would. So what happens? I have to compensate by bringing my head closer, bring my upper body closer, and that puts me in danger where they can hit me a lot easier.
Yeah.
As of now I can keep somebody away a lot easier, or not jam myself up or bring myself so close that then the person they can just blast me in the face.
Right.
So, it's like, especially whether it's even like with your legs, with your arms, like anything that just compromises, you end up compensating somewhere else, which puts you in danger when you're in a fight. So, I just had to get it done.
Yeah, no, I agree. Now, I always like talking about like the business side of things. In the time away, you changed management. You joined Paradigm. You guys at Tiger Schulman's and Lyman Good and Shane Burgos, they went to first round management. I'm always fascinated on these kind of things. What made you choose to go to Paradigm? Because any agency would be thrilled to have a Julio Arce as part of their client roster. What made you say, yeah, okay, Paradigm works for me? How did they sway you? Did they? Because Lyman and Shane, they put up Instagram posts of first round just taking them to dinner and just totally like just trying to impress them. Did you get any of that kind of love, or did they just communicate to you in a way like, what, okay, this feels like a good fit? Because they're a major one. They got Conor, they got Israel, they're a major one.
So the great thing about Paradigm is like once I got my elbow surgery, I was out for the count. I was out for like the time being. Yeah. And they reached out to me, he's like, yo, just checking up on you. And we were talking back and forth. So they stayed in contact with me. They were like, yo, we let's set something up. Like we're just in communications. Yeah. And they were like, we want you to be part of our team. He's like, reaching out, see how you're feeling, see how you're doing, how everything's going, how the surgery went. And, to me, like, Paradigm just fit me better. Like, they fit, like, I felt, I'm like, yo, you guys, it's like, I have a better fitting with you guys than, with the other management. So, look, went with them, and it's been great. They've been amazing.
Now, let's talk about this fight coming up with Andre Ewell. Now, despite losing, like the last two, you're the favorite going into this fight. Is that because I'm not sure how many people understand what was going on with your elbows now until maybe they see this and stuff like that. But you're the favorite going into this fight against Andre, who's a pretty good fighter. Does that kind of, like, for the frustrations of those very close split decision losses, does it kind of balance it with, like, some kind of, you're getting clear respect from people like in the know that are making these odds? They still feel you're a favorite despite what's happened to you recently. Does that help on any level, or you can really care less?
You know what? Like at this point, like going into this fight is like I'm really just going with one mindset only, and I'm just going in there to fight and to get back to where I want to be. Yeah. Right. I feel like it's not about anybody. Like other people are gonna be like said they want to put, as I'm the favorite, they want to put me at the underdog. That's on them. And I think just mindset wise, I'm just focused on me. I'm just focused on what I'm ready to do when I go back in that cage. What I've been working so hard to, like the journey, just getting back in there. Yeah. So it's like that's been just my major focus the whole time. You
have faced a nice variety of styles in your career, yet I feel like, to my novice, not professional fighter, not fighter eyes, Andre definitely, he brings something different in his style, being flashy, throwing heavy shots, trying to go for finishes. I mean, the guy's called Mr. Highlight. He's always trying to land big stuff, get finishes. Does he bring something fresh that maybe even you haven't faced yet? Or do you feel you faced guys like him in the past, or even have seen the same or even better in training somewhere like a Tiger Schulman's?
And you know what, though? Although he does bring something different to the table. And, even though some other people might have similar styles and I might have seen it, but there's always that person that adds a little extra spice to it. Yeah. I feel like he adds a little extra spice to his things, and it's like, I'm ready to put out like a banger. Yeah. And I feel like this fight's like a sleeper fight, so I can't wait for it. Yes.
While Andre is flashy, like I mentioned, he needs to, of course, be taken seriously like any other fighter, especially because he's throwing big shots. He certainly has weaknesses. He's lost 3 times in the UFC, won 2 of his fights by close split decisions. When preparing for him, scouting him, is his flashiness and trying to land these big shots to get guys out of there early, is it, in a sort of a way, is it also maybe like a weakness for him as much as it's a strength? Is he opening up things? Is he showing things that other people have exploited when he's maybe not being a little bit more measured and trying to get these flashy shots and land these big shots?
Look, he's Mr. Highlight for a reason. He wants to put on a show. He wants to, get those fight night bonuses, whatever it is. That's on his mind. No, that's on him. I think for me, it's about being disciplined right now. Like however the fight goes, whether it goes by submission, knockout, decision, whatever it is, it's like I gotta be disciplined and be disciplined with my game plan all the way through. That's it. Like whatever he wants to bring the flashiness. He wants to try hit hard, whatever his plan is. That's his time. That's what makes him him, right? And for me, I'm just gonna go in there and just be disciplined about the game plan that I have set.
Now, give me the mentality from your perspective and the fighter's perspective going into this fight, because you lost, you didn't get the decision in the last fight at Madison Square Garden, and lost 2 out of 3, but close fights could easily, very subjective scoring from judges, stuff like that. But as a fighter, do you go into this fight? Does it feel like a must win? Do you feel like you need to win this for just maybe not confidence, but for your own mentality and just a frustration? Is that kind of the mindset, or that time away, healing up, why you weren't performing at that kind of level? There isn't an extra pressure for this fight. It's kind of like any other.
Yeah, going into this side, I don't feel any extra pressure. Okay. One, I'm starting my new journey at bantamweight, and 2, I completely it changed mentality from that, from those fights. Those fights were learning experiences for me. Yeah. And I used those 2 fights that I lost as such a reminder to myself. And I used that. I was like, okay, we're going in there to fight. We're not going in there to, put on a show. I'm not here, there's gonna be fans. You're doing it for you. Get your mind wrapped around. Fight is for you and no one else. And that's what I'm going in there. A totally different mentality. I'm not going in there to be like, oh, I'm, trying to get the top, 15. Fuck that. I'm not focused on that right now. Yeah. I'm focused on fighting this guy and bringing it to him and putting on a hell of a fight. I just want to go in there and fight. Like if I was in a street fight kind of thing.
And I'm glad you brought up going to bantamweight, because that's an important piece of all of this too. I mean, you were never a large featherweight. Is that part of the reason going down, where you kind of, would you say, maybe you were out of the optimal weight class for you, and is a move down those 10 pounds, is it really not that much of a difference for you in terms of cutting, or it's going to suck, but it's still for the best?
It's probably going to suck because I haven't done it in a while, but I got Eric Pena, who does the nutrition for a lot of the UFC fighters and stuff. He's helping me out with it. And it's been great. But the thing is, I'm a small guy, man. It's you can clearly see when I was fighting, Shaman, Julian Rosa. Yeah. The only person that was actually technically taller than was Amor, but he was so wider. So it's you can clearly see a size difference between me and the people that I'm going with. Yeah. And these guys are cutting from much more heavier weight. I was literally cutting next to nothing to